Well, Akbar is going to acquire the services of Hercules Hernandez at this time, and you're going to start teaming up with Herc. So you've got Akbar as your manager, you've got Herc as your new tag team partner, and the two of you are going to enter an issue with the Rock and Roll Express. Now, Ted, Ricky, and Robert, they're considered one of the greatest tag teams of all time. Pretty fun to see you having your chance to work with them. What can you tell us about your experiences working with Ricky and Robert?
Those guys, they were a great tag team. They were a great tag team. I'll tell you what, I love those guys because they were so good. They were so good. They were, I mean, just generally speaking, good guys too. They just, I never had any problems with them. I looked forward to wrestling with them because they were good in the ring. They were good in the ring, and and just there was no negative, nothing negative, just all positive.
Well, yourself and Hercules are actually going to defeat the Rock and Roll Express on December 3rd, 1984 in New Orleans and become the new Mid-South Tag Team Champions. So Watts has definitely got you guys positioned really well right out of the gate. Teaming up with Hercules, I mean, he's a big guy, great body, great look.
Yeah,
I know he's not exactly considered a super polished worker. What's it like teaming up with a guy like Herc?
he's not bad at all. And I guess the positive is he was a good guy. It's yeah, had good guy, had obviously had the look. You know, and I would say a fair worker. But he's not one of the best. He's not like I don't know. I don't know what he. I think he's probably recognized more for just how he looked than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, an irreplaceable look on that guy. You can see why Vince took an immediate interest in him.
Yeah,
Um,
and he was. Yeah, I mean, I won't say he wasn't a bad worker at all. He was a very good worker. But I wouldn't put him like, oh god, yeah, he's one of the best ever type of deal. So.
I always thought he had a really interesting voice too. Like, I thought he was a pretty good promo, good look. So he had a lot going for him as a wrestler,
Yeah,
that's for sure.
yeah, yeah, he did.
Well, the title run doesn't last very long for you and Hercules. Christmas Day, 1984, you guys are going to drop the belts back to the Rock and Rolls at the Lakefront Arena in New Orleans. Ted, working on Christmas Day, pretty rough.
Yeah, I hated it, but I did it. Here's what the promoters found out: if you run a show on Christmas night, you're going to pack the house. You know why? Because all these families have gotten up that day. They've opened their presents. They've had their Christmas dinner. Now they want to go do something.
Oh, man.
I mean, we would pack the house. So I can't tell you then how many times I had to, here in Jackson, we would, Melanie and I would go to her mom and dad where they were living at the time. And we would have Christmas. We would open presents with them and have our Christmas dinner. And at about 3 o'clock that afternoon, I would get in my car and head for New Orleans because we would wrestle in New Orleans on Christmas night and pack the house. And then I'll tell you what else I do when that show was over. I had you ever see Smokey and the Bandit?
Yeah.
I had a Trans Am that looked just like the one, what was his name?
Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds drove in Smokey and the Bandit. It looked just like it. And that sucker would haul. And I would wrestle and I would leave New Orleans, and brother, I can't tell, like it's I want to say it's 160 miles, back to Jackson from New Orleans. Brother, on Christmas night, there wasn't anything on that highway but me. I would put my car in. I'm talking about the divider, the white lines.
Yeah.
I would get right in the middle of the white lines, and I would just go. I can't remember now, but I mean, I know there's times that it's kind of like, dang, it's like if you had bought a ticket, got on an airplane, and flown there and got off. It's kind of like, Maybe not as fast as an airplane, but with all the other stuff that you got to do to catch a plane, I was there, buddy.
Well, you're probably covering 160 miles in, an hour and a half or something,
Yeah,
maybe less.
yeah,
Yeah, boy, that's, you're making good time there. I'm sure the wife was happy to have you home Christmas night too.
absolutely, absolutely.
I've gotta believe that when you're working on Christmas Day, I mean, Watts knows he's pulling you guys away from your families, big crowds, I have to assume you guys are giving
Well,
him
well,
pretty
again,
good pay.
again, the positive for all of us is we knew. It's like it wasn't never known until somebody tested it, but we knew that the arena was going to be sold out.
Yeah.
And so if there was a reason to do it, there it was.
Safe to assume that you're driving back with a whole bunch of money in your pocket after filling an arena?
Well, I mean, you didn't get paid, like that night, but yeah,
Ah, okay.
you knew, you knew the check was coming.
It's gotta ease the blow whenever you're working on Christmas if you know you've got a big, payoff headed your
Oh
way.
yeah, yeah. So